Today, let's go behind the scenes of what it really takes to build a vision board worthy business and how you can align your dreams with the practical steps that are going to get you there. Where most people fall off on their vision and what their day to day looks like is just that. It's not being realistic about what the day to day grind, and sometimes it will be a grind, what that's going to look like, but how it gets you to where you want to go. Without a roadmap, a dream can feel kind of discouraging. And the clearer the path, the more achievable that vision becomes. And this is where having that day to day grind in mind when designing the dream really helps you balance the passion you have for your business and the strategy it's going to take to get it where you want it to go. Both the passion and the strategy are absolutely crucial. That passion is what's going to give you energy. It's going to give you the grit to keep going even through the hard parts or the boring days or when it really does feel like that grind. Whereas the strategy is going to be the things you're doing that are feeling like that grind. And it's going to be what gets you to that dream. You just have to keep working that system that you set for yourself. If you need some help with that, I did a video on it recently, so go ahead and check that out in the next video up to play as well. Now, I want to give you 3 pillars that I have used and helped my clients use to build their vision board worthy business. Let's get into it. The first pillar is having an authentic strategy. So building a strategy that is aligned with your unique strengths and values. This is how you're going to decide, are you going to outsource your bookkeeping, but keep your newsletter writing in-house? These are going to be the things that light you up versus something might be able to do better or aren't worth your time to learn how to do well enough yourself. So figuring out what you're going to outsource or not could be a strategy. You could figure out, are you going to use social media to attract new clients? Or maybe social media is not your jam. Maybe you would rather go to in-person networking events. Maybe you would rather do virtual events. Maybe you want to attend Chamber of Commerce meetings, but not other types of networking. Picking which one of these or several of these is going to work best for you is going to be a strategy that you use to bring in new clients that is based on your unique strengths and values. And when you get this right, the grind feels a lot less sucky when you're right in the thick of it. Pillar 2 is you're going to create multiple revenue streams. And this is going to help you build predictable income, which can be a boon for your creativity and growth. And it's also going to give you a little more stability if you're feeling worried about giving up your stable salary. Now, one of the things I like to mention here is it's not just about creating more products. If you're in the service-based industry, it's not just about expanding your product line per se that you deliver on, but creating something that doesn't need you there for people to purchase and make you money. So if you're a bookkeeper, your main kind of signature package is doing people's accounting and books for them, right? But that requires you to do it or someone if you outsource. So we want to get you something that is steady income that doesn't require you or somebody else to necessarily deliver. This can look like a course, an ebook, a PDF. Maybe it's a pre-recorded workshop, which is basically a micro course. Things like this, where you can not be involved in the actual delivery and people just pay you for whatever you have already previously done. So this is what I mean by creating multiple revenue streams and having yourself removed from the delivery of at least 1 or 2 of them. All right, pillar 3, we are going to get into what I like to call the grit and grace of running a business. And this is all about accountability, but also being adaptable. So staying on track with your goals and your micro goals, your needle moving tasks is awesome. But you need to have a check-in or review process to identify what's working and be open-minded enough to also adjust your strategies or your needle moving tasks as needed if they're not working. One of the things that I do in my business and start doing with all of my clients is a weekly review or check-in process. So they identify their needle movers. For somebody who likes networking, like me, it's 5 new networking meetings, people I've never met before, 5 nurturing ones, so people I've met before have potential to be clients, and I'm nurturing them along that process, and attending 3 virtual meetings each week where I can get new people to meet. So for me, that's my weekly check-in. That's what I'm looking at. And then I'm also looking at what were the outcomes of those meetings? Did I close any of the people that were either new or that I'm nurturing? If so, awesome. That gives me a ratio, and I can use that later on, scaling up and down depending on the season of life to know if I do 10 meetings a week, on average, I close 2 to 3. So in order to keep my business healthy, I need to do at least 10 meetings a week. But I could go up to 20 because my bandwidth could handle having 6 new clients this week. Having that grit to keep going on those needle movers, which can be tough sometimes, and then the grace to say, you know what, that's not working. Maybe I need to work on my sales skills, or maybe I need to go find a different networking group. And the grace to allow yourself to pivot and adapt is absolutely crucial when it comes to being a successful business owner. I want to tell you about one of my clients. They came to me because they were a little stressed out, to say the least. They were about to be a brand new first-time parent and had 3 businesses. One of those businesses was a hobby turned business, and the other 2 were fairly related in the same industry, but different niches of it. And when they came to me, they were really worried about how they were going to handle the added responsibility, basically the 4th full-time job of them being a new parent. So we worked through these pillars together so they could get really clear on their goals. What was the goal for each business? They ended up deciding that the hobby business should really stay a hobby. They decided to take a step back from that and let their business partner take over the bulk of their responsibility while they became more silent in this new season they were stepping into as parents. And they also found that one business was bringing in a lot more money than the other one and required a lot less time on their part. So they set that aside temporarily as well and looked into ways they could potentially outsource that or teach other people how to do it through a course instead of just doing it themselves as an added service for their clients. And so they took their 3 different businesses and really just dialed in and focused on the one and how they could get more clients coming into that particular business, which was already doing well and more sustainable for them to manage as they were becoming new parents. And this is just one of the ways that when you get really clear on what exactly that vision board worthy business is and what it's going to take to get there, this is how it looks. This is the adaptability. Just because you start a new income stream or just because you have a new idea doesn't mean you can't or even shouldn't pursue it. But when the time comes, you may need to pull back or pivot from it or lean more heavily into something else as well, depending on what your goals are and how things are going, which is why tracking that weekly progress and the overall benefit is going to be really important. So those 3 pillars. You're going to build an authentic strategy to get new clients. You're going to create multiple income streams, and at least one, ideally, you don't have to deliver yourself. And giving yourself that grit and grace to stick with the hard stuff and the grace to pivot on those things that aren't lighting you up or really moving the needle. Now, I want you to put this into action. What's one goal on your vision board that's been hard to start on? Drop it in the comments below and let's brainstorm an action step that's going to get you closer to that vision. Until next time, stay focused, y'all.